Now it's back to the grind for most. So hard to go back after a long weekend. Couple of slow spots, one coming out of Santee, that 52 heading westbound at the 125 connector. Pretty busy there. As for the 805 heading northbound, expect some company. This is going to start as early as Market Street, so just south of the 94 up to the 8, you're on the brakes. And again, from about Balboa up to Claremont Mesa Boulevard. As for the 15 heading southbound to the 5 South connector, there's a crash involving a motorcyclist. It's in the final clearing stages. It looks like the motorcycle is being towed at this time. Everything's been moved over to the right shoulder and speeds still look really good. So we're moving along, but just a heads up, please be careful if you're going to be passing through. 163 is actually picked back up as you head into downtown. Northbound lanes also cruising along. If you're traveling in the North County, 5 heading southbound, Poinsettia Lane down to Manchester Avenue, it is completely jammed. Speeds go down into the 20s. 15 still looks good. No delays on the 78 or 56. And then lastly, this 15 heading northbound, just a little congested just south of the 8 up to about Friars Road. Give yourself a few extra minutes. Time wherever you're headed. Coming out of the East County, 52 heading westbound, very slow right at the 125 connector. That traffic will continue up to Mass Boulevard. You'll also see some congestion as you approach the 805. As for the 8 heading westbound, this is going to be on and off. It's going to start right around Spring Street. You'll see heavy traffic on and off through Mission Valley. Get a little bit of relief, and then from Hotel Circle to the 5, it is completely solid. 94 westbound, that is backed up all the way to Massachusetts Avenue. So just plan accordingly and give yourself that extra drive time. 805 heading northbound from Bonita Road up to the 8. It is completely solid. And then again from Balboa up to Governor Drive. 5 heading northbound, Civic Center Drive. It's stop and go up to about the 163. You'll also see some congestion just north of the 8 connector. 163 into downtown, it's a little busy. In the North County, real quick, 15 heading southbound, very long stretch where you're on the brakes. Escondido on and off all the way down to Mercy Road. 56 westbound looks pretty busy as you make your way over to the 5. 5 heading southbound, you're on the brakes as early as Cannon Road. And the 78 pretty jammed in both directions between about Barham Drive and the 15. Heading westbound, it's to the 5 connector and a motorcyclist is involved. Speeds actually look pretty good still on that 54 as you approach the 5, but just give yourself a few extra minutes. The number 2 lane is currently blocked. As for the 5 heading northbound, you're going to be slow starting just north of the 54. That heavy traffic will take you up to about Civic Center Drive. If you're going to be on the 805 heading northbound, Bonita Road up to the 8, pretty much solid. And again from Balboa to Claremont Mesa Boulevard. As for the 8 heading westbound, this is going to be busy as you approach the 15. And that 15 heading northbound looks congested just south of the 8 to just north of it. So speeds are in the 20s there. 52 out of Santee, just before the 125, you are on the brakes. This continues out to about Mission Gorge. If you're traveling in the North County, 15 heading southbound looks pretty slow through Escondido. Also, the 78 traveling eastbound is going to be busy as early as Barham Drive. If you're in those westbound lanes, pretty much between the 15 and about Nordahl, so a small stretch there where you'll see some heavy traffic. 5 heading southbound, that is sluggish starting at Cannon Road. It'll continue down through Encinitas and then you'll get some relief. 56, it looks a little busy as you make your way over to the 5, actually still holding up rather nicely. And we do have a couple of things going on, pretty busy out there this morning, as well as a couple of crashes. Starting in the North County, 15 heading southbound at Pomerado, there's a crash. Traffic is very slow through Escondido. Also know the 5 heading southbound, you are on the brakes as early as Oceanside. That'll continue down to Manchester Avenue. If you're coming up and out of the South Bay, the 5 heading northbound at 28th Street, there's a crash involving 3 cars. One is a semi and then 2 regular cars. Traffic is going to be backed up to about East Street. No lanes are currently blocked. Hopefully that'll be moved off the freeway here shortly. That did just roll in though, so it's going to take a little bit of time before we see conditions improve. 94 heading westbound slow just past the 805 over to the 5. Also know that 805 heading northbound between Bonita Road and the 8, it's pretty much solid. And again from Balboa up to Claremont Mesa Boulevard. If you're coming out of the East County, 52 heading westbound just before the 125 connector out to Mass Boulevard. Speeds are in the 20s there. 8 looks really good. Here's an unusual pattern. The 125 heading southbound is going to be slow from the 8 all the way down to Lemon Avenue. If you're traveling in the northbound lanes on the 125, expect some company right around Campo Road. 56 heading westbound looks pretty good. No delays so far on the 78. It looks a little busy right around Nordahl in both those east and westbound lanes. Speeds maybe in the 40s to 50s, but we're still mostly moving along. Also starting to see a little bit of congestion, volume building on the 15 heading northbound just south of the 8 up to Friars Road. In the North County, one right now that just rolled in, 15 heading northbound at Deer Springs Road. Looks like the fire department is on scene, CHP responding as well. As far as speeds go in the North County, the 78 heading westbound is going to be busy at Barham Drive. If you're in those eastbound lanes, looking a little slow right around Nordahl. 5 heading southbound, Lucadia down through Encinitas, you are on the brakes. 15 still looks really good even through Escondido, and no delays on that 56 so far. Coming out of the East County, little busy on the 52 heading westbound right at the 125 connector. Not as bad as we typically see, and we are in that rush hour, so I'd say a little bit of Friday light there for you. 8 westbound looks really good, free and clear, as is the 94. Coming up and out of the South Bay, this is probably your slowest ride right now. That 805 heading northbound between the 54 and the 8, it is completely solid. And then again from Balboa up to Governor Drive, speeds are going to be in the 30s. Slow ride into downtown as early as Washington Street. As for the 5 heading northbound, you're a little slow right around Civic Center Drive, starting to see that volume build. Also a little busy just north of the 94 until you get to about the 163, and then things will start to improve for you. 15 heading northbound, it's a little congested just south of the 8. That heavy traffic will take you up to Friars Road, and then you're free and clear. No delays right now on the 125. How about this great cause? Hope the two of you have a wonderful holiday season and a big turnout tomorrow.